don't usually share this story with anybody. Most folks think I'm making it up or that I fell asleep at the wheel that night. But I know what I saw. I know what happened. I've been driving trucks for 15 years, mostly long hauls through Nevada. Route 50 is like my second home. I know every bump, every turn, every way station along that stretch. That's why I noticed right away when something wasn't right. It was around 2 a.m. last winter. There was kind of cold that makes your bones ache. I was getting tired, my eyes heavy from staring at the road for hours. That's when I spotted it. An old way station that was supposed to be closed down years ago. The weird thing was, it had lights on. Bright ones. I remember thinking I should just keep driving. My delivery wasn't due until noon the next day, and I still had half a thermos of coffee left. But my back was killing me from sitting too long. Plus, I needed to stretch my legs, so I pulled in. The parking lot was empty except for some tumbleweeds that got stuck under my truck. The wind was making this weird whistling sound through the broken windows of the office building. I grabbed my flashlight. The one my daughter, Lena, gave me last Christmas still had the little unicorn sticker on it, and headed inside. The door wasn't locked, which was the first strange thing. Inside, everything was covered in dust, except for this one desk with a logbook on it. It looked new, like someone had just put it there. I flipped through it and saw entries from the past week, names I didn't know. The last entry made my skin feel all prickly. It said, "Driver reported suspicious vehicle following, investigation pending." It was dated just 3 hours before I got there. I was about to leave when I noticed a small security monitor on the desk. It was on, showing grainy footage of the parking lot. There was my truck, and behind it, something else. Another vehicle I hadn't seen when I pulled in. Some kind of dark van. My heart started beating real fast. I rushed back to my truck, almost slipping on the icy pavement. When I got to my cab, I locked the doors right away and started checking around. That's when I noticed small things weren't right. My coffee thermos was on the passenger seat instead of the cup holder where I always keep it. My logbook was open to yesterday's page, but I hadn't touched it since morning. Someone had been in my truck while I was inside the station. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely get the key in the ignition. Just as the engine started, my CB radio made this awful static noise. Then a voice came through, all scratchy. "Leaving so soon? I was just getting to know you." I didn't answer. I just floored it out of there, tires spinning on the ice. I drove straight through till morning, without stopping once, jumping every time I saw headlights in my mirror. 2 days later, I ran into Mac, another trucker I sometimes see at this diner in Reno. He told me 3 drivers had disappeared on that same stretch of road in the past month. When I told him about the way station, he looked at me funny and said authorities had checked it out the day after I was there. The place was completely dark, no power, no logbook, no working security system. According to the highway department, that station's been condemned for almost 10 years. The electricity was cut off long ago. I still drive Route 50, have to for work. But I never stop at night anymore, no matter how tired I get. And sometimes, when I pass that old station in the dark, I swear I can see lights flickering inside, just for a second. Like someone's waiting. I wasn't planning on working that weekend. My kid had a baseball game I was gonna go to. But when dispatch called offering double pay for an Oakland to Phoenix run, I couldn't say no. Money's been tight since the divorce, Just need someone reliable, the guy told me. Last driver quit mid-route. Some paperwork issue or whatever. Nothing to worry about. I should have asked more questions, I guess. But that's how it goes when you need the cash. The container was already loaded when I got to the port. Automotive parts is what the manifest said. I've hauled those before, and something felt off right away. The weight wasn't balanced right. When I mentioned it, the yard manager just shrugged and said everything was in order. I remember stopping for coffee before hitting the interstate. The girl at the counter had a tattoo of a bird on her wrist. Weird, the stuff your brain holds onto, right? About 3 hours in, I noticed this smell. Not strong at first, just there. kind of sweet but with something else under it, like when meat starts to turn. My truck's pretty old. The AC barely works and my radio keeps cutting out when I hit bumps, so I figured maybe something died in the vents. The smell got worse though. My eyes started watering, and my mouth tasted like I'd been sucking on pennies. When I stopped for gas outside Bakersfield, I was checking the tires and saw this dark stuff dripping from the container. Just a few drops, making little stains on the concrete. Could have been condensation mixed with road grime, but it looked thicker. Like oil, but not quite. I called dispatch right there in the parking lot. Some lady answered who I'd never talked to before. "You absolutely cannot open that container," she said. Didn't even sound surprised about the leaking. Continue to Phoenix. No unscheduled stops. That night I couldn't sleep good, parked at this truck stop where the showers weren't working right, so I was already annoyed. Around 2 a.m. I woke up to this scratching sound. At first I thought it was just the wind or the truck settling, but it had this rhythm to it. Scratch, scratch, pause. Scratch, scratch, pause. Then I heard voices. Real quiet. Could have convinced myself it was just the CB radio picking up interference, except I'd turned it off. I sat there for maybe an hour, just listening, telling myself I was imagining things. But that's when I decided to check the seal on the container. The numbered tag was different. I know because I always take a picture of the paperwork and seal for my records. Been burned before by shady companies. I didn't wait until morning. Called the highway patrol right there. Told them something wasn't right. When they came with the hazmat team, they made me stand way back. I was smoking a cigarette, trying to quit, but stress makes it hard. When one of the officers came over looking sick. 8 people in there, he said, trying to get to LA. 3 didn't make it. The shipping company disappeared overnight. Phones disconnected, office emptied out. That was 4 months ago. I'm driving local routes now. No more long hauls. Sometimes I get texts from numbers I don't know, asking if I want special transport work that pays triple. I block everyone. Some nights I still wake up hearing that scratching sound. Scratch, scratch, pause. Like someone trying to get out. So this happened to me last April. I was driving my semi through Tennessee, carrying a load of frozen food. I've been trucking for about 8 years now, mostly East Coast routes. That day was pretty normal at first. Weather was good. Traffic was light. I remember I was listening to this old country music station that kept cutting out. Annoying, but nothing weird yet. Around 4 p.m. I saw flashing lights ahead. A state trooper was waving traffic off the interstate. He said there was a chemical spill up ahead and we all needed to follow this detour. He handed me a paper with directions. Seemed official enough. So I took this exit I'd never used before. The road got smaller and smaller. Trees everywhere. My cell signal kept dropping to 1 bar, then nothing. After driving maybe an hour, I realized something wasn't adding up. Where were all the other trucks? There should have been a steady line of vehicles following this detour, but I hadn't seen another semi for at least 40 minutes. Just me and this beat-up blue pickup that stayed maybe half a mile behind me the whole time. The detour signs started, looking off. First ones were proper metal Department of Transportation signs, but now they were just painted plywood arrows nailed to trees. I pulled over at a wide spot to check my map. That blue pickup stopped too, just sitting there, engine running. I tried calling my dispatch but couldn't get through. When I checked my GPS, it showed I was nowhere. Just forest land, no roads, marked at all. That's when I noticed my fuel gauge. It was dropping way too fast. I should have had 3/4 of a tank, but it was already below half. Someone must have messed with my fuel line at that rest stop I used earlier. It was getting dark fast when I saw this tiny gas station. One pump, looked like it was from the 1970s. This old guy came out, wouldn't look me in the eyes, kept staring at my truck. "Fuel trouble?" he asked before I said anything. "I can fix that. Got a garage out back." Something in my gut just screamed danger, but I nodded and followed him around back, figuring I could at least see what I was dealing with. Behind that station was the worst thing I've ever seen. 3 other semis, partly taken apart. Cargo doors hanging open, empty. And built into the garage wall were these makeshift cells with dirty mattresses inside. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped my keys. I told him, "Need to call my company first, company policy," and got back in my truck. I took off with whatever fuel I had left. In my mirror, I saw him on a phone, looking angry. 5 miles later, 2 pickup trucks tried to trap me, one in front slowing down, one behind. I just aimed for the ditch and forced my way past. I followed some power lines and finally found the interstate again. Called the cops when I got signal. They investigated, but that gas station was empty by then. They found evidence of at least 6 other drivers who went missing on those same back roads. I drive with a gun now, and I never, ever take unmarked detours.